Good morning and welcome to Double K Home Projects. Well, today we're going to be outside working on some garden things. We're going to be trying to till up some of our raised beds and putting a little bit of fertilizer in to let that set because we have some rain coming in. I'm wanting it to kind of soak down into the ground to kind of prep the soil for planting this summer. So as soon as we can, we're going to get busy here. We have some rain coming in, and I'm not sure if I'll get it done or not, but here's our beds that we're going to be working on. We're just going to till them up and put some fertilizer in them. So I don't know if I'll get them all done, but we've got quite a few raised beds to till up and get the soil prepped for this summer. Now, in the last couple years, I've had garden all down through here. I used to have the raised beds over in this area, and I've added dirt last year in here, and it looks like a mess right now. But I think I'm going to actually just till up some of this and make garden out of it again, and then not in raised beds, just a normal garden, probably just around the fence. I'm going to make like an aisle down through here and maybe have a garden on both sides. I'm not sure just yet. I have to think about all that. But got to get our solar panels adjusted. They need to be turned up towards the sky. I got to get that done here real soon. So, but anyway, I've had garden all through here, and we had a bunch of peppers right in here. Still see some of the old ground cover, the cloth fabric that I had down. So I had little paths through here. Maybe we'll pull all that up and probably put new down. But I'll probably till all this up and get it all going again. So we've got quite a few places to plant things this year. And then I used to have all down through here. It's a mess down through there, but we'll get it cleaned up. I've got quite a few projects to do. And if you notice, the old shed there, the old tent shed, I call it, it's going to have to go. I'm eventually going to empty that out. I've just got a bunch of stuff in there that I wanted to try to keep dry, but unfortunately it's not keeping dry anymore. Those awnings or the tarps on those things, really, they only last a year or two, and then they're leaking. So I've replaced the tarp probably 2 or 3 times, at least 3 times, and it's just going to have to go away. So I'd really like to build a garage, but that may be a future project. I'm going to try to get it emptied out this summer and find places to put stuff, and then clean that area up. So with that said, we're going to get started before it rains. We got a lot of weeds and stuff trying to come up in this thing. There's not a lot, but there's some. Yeah, try to get them out by the whole root. Now this one doesn't look too awful bad. I'm going to add fertilizer, 12-12-12 to this, just a little over an 8-ounce cup of it, dry fertilizer, just to help the soil out. I got to do this to all the beds, all the raised beds. I usually plant tomatoes in here to go up this fence right here, and it seems to work good. It's an old cattle panel. Cattle panel works really good for tomatoes. especially if you're in a windy area. You need something to support those tomatoes. Later on, I'll show you how I trim tomatoes up so that they'll grow tall and still bush out some, yeah, but it gets the tomatoes up off the ground. You gotta have something to support them. I think we're going to try to plant mostly peppers in here. I'm not sure just yet in these raised beds. I got 4 of these down through here, this size. I think we're going to try to do peppers in here. Bell peppers, I should say. Can't plant for quite a while, but I'm just trying to get this ready to go. I expect we will till it up one more time before we plant. I am going to put some fertilizer in here and kind of rake it in. It's quite a bit harder than what I thought it would be. I had these all over on the other side. I had it all landscaped nice, and I was thinking of building a garage, and so I moved all this stuff over here on this side, which is fine. I kind of like it better over here anyway, because I was going to build the garage over in that area that I just showed you. I needed the room, so I got rid of the beds over there. Using this old I don't know what you call it, old cultivator, a fork, garden fork. It's old, still working. I've got one fiberglass handle one it's shot. This old wood one's still working. Okay, that was good enough for now. I'm going to get my fertilizer and go ahead and get it spread. All right, well, we've got, we're just about ready to go with putting our fertilizer in. I wanted to show you this. I've made a cup here with a line at just over 8 ounces. It may be 9 ounces. Or a heaping cup of, an 8 ounce cup. And that's how far I'm going to fill the fertilizer in this cup for each bed. So, I'll bring you in here on that. I just made me a line, marked what it is, and then we're going to start filling. I got me another cup to dip with. Get her about level there. That's about right. 12, 12, 12 fertilizer. And just kind of sprinkle it all over here. Probably ought to be wearing a mask, but I'm going to just till this in here. Oh, and mix it up good, and when it rains on it, it will soak down in there. Okay, we got to mix her up now. Threw a bunch over there. Probably need to put some lime in here too, which I do have, and then can use some bone meal and things like that to help plants grow. Blood meal and bone meal, I believe it is. I don't want to get too far down because I want it to rain on it and kind of soak it down in. I just want it kind of under the dirt a little so it's not just sitting on top. I said before we plant, we'll be tilling this up again real fine probably. So let that soak in. I'm not sure. We will work on possibly putting some lime in it later here before planting. All right, there's the first bed done. I got 4 more or 3 more here to do. Okay. All right, we're going to go over here to the next bed and start working on it. Got quite a few more weeds. Try to get the whole root out if possible. I've got my little digger fork here. Mini version of what I'm using, the big version. Kind of loosen that soil a little bit. I just throw my weeds in a bucket. Yeah, get dirt all over me. Gardens are a lot of upkeep, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to keep up on them. It really is. It's one of those least favorite things to do in the summer when it's 90, 95 degrees. It gets hot weeding a garden. You can weed it in the mornings, which I do, especially beans and stuff. Beans are tough to weed. But anyway, if you weed in the morning, it's cooler, you know, before the heat of the day. You might be able to stand it there, but even then, you have mosquitoes that start driving you crazy. So there's that, you know. Mosquitoes like to bite. They're bad around here in the summer. I think that's good enough for the little claw. We'll go get the big one. They're working on it, or working with it. I like raised beds. It would be better if these were a little higher, I think. We didn't have to bend over quite as much, but it's better than completely on the ground. I won't go through it in this video, but I use a little template that we bought for square foot gardening, and well, it works good. It has a guide when you're planting certain seeds where to plant them, and it has holes in it. When we go to do that, I'll video that too. That way people can see it. I bought the template. I mean, you could make one, I suppose, but it sure makes it nice to plant seeds uniformly and do square foot gardening. And you can do it in raised beds, or you can do it in a normal garden if you wanted to. Just section it off. I really like to do it that way. They say you can get more plants in the ground in a smaller space when you do it versus traditional row planting. There's some things like corn and things like that you're not gonna want a square foot garden with, you know. But beans work real well in a square foot garden. As long as you can get around it and reach them, that's all you need. And you can plant them real close and they'll grow good. You just follow the guide on how close to plant the beans. I won't get all these done today, but I've got to get them tilled up. Be nice to get them done before next weekend, or work on them next week a bit between my basement project, which is coming along. The big old hole that we had in the foundation wall, it's filled up, but I've got to pretty it up on the outside and get some mortar in between the other rock. That whole basement has to be mortared, so it's going to be a big project, especially when I get up there in the crawl space area of the basement. I mean, it's a big crawl space, but well, I got a lot of cleanup to do before I even get up in there, because it's nasty. This old place, it's an old house. I know this is probably the hard way to do things, but it doesn't cost me anything but my own labor, so, you know, it doesn't cost any electricity to do this. That, and I'm not throwing dirt all out of the, like with a little tiller or whatever. I mean, not that I wouldn't use one if I had one, but I mean, I've got a little tiller, but it's too big for this bed. I'd end up getting into the wood and stuff, so I think it's better that I just do it like this. Probably could run a soil test on this to see what it needs, but I'm just going to balance it out with that 12-12-12 fertilizer. Things grew in it last year really well, so I have tested the soil before when it was over on the other side of the property, and I had some problems because I had brought a bunch of dirt in, and I had some problems with, I don't know what it was. One of the nutrients was off. It was real high. I think it was potash or something. I don't know, potassium maybe. I don't know. It was really high though, and it was burning my plants up. It was causing my plants to burn up. So you got to get that kind of under control. So if you're having some problems, I ended up digging all the dirt out of it and putting the dirt elsewhere and mixing new dirt and testing the soil and just make sure it was okay to plant in. By that time it was getting late in the summer. Not late, but for planting it was getting late, and didn't end up doing that great with stuff. Well, one thing that grows crazy around here is kale. I can grow that stuff like crazy, and zucchini. Grow zucchini like going out of style. We do have a freeze dryer, a Harvest Right. It's a medium. It is on the blink right now. I think I alluded to that in another video or something, but that's going to be another project I'm going to video, because it's a problem that they had with them that can be fixed fairly cheap by yourself. It's a vacuum error, and there's a fix for it, and I'm hoping that it will fix ours, because they're pretty expensive, but boy, they make some good stuff. Those freeze dryers do. Strawberries, dried strawberries, boy, they're great. And bananas. A lot of people make candy. We do have a candy mode on ours, but I haven't made any candy yet. I think Skittles is the ones they really like dries them out and it cracks the shell or something. I don't know. I guess it's really good. May have to try that if I get her fixed up. Also got another project that I've got to get done real soon over here. It's really not on my property, but I'm going to talk to the church over here about it. We live right beside a church. Their eaves trough comes down, and they've got a pipe over there, a drainage pipe that's just laying out there, and it blows off in the wind. Every storm, the crazy thing blows off, and then they're gushing water down on the ground up there, and it's tilted down to mine, and it doesn't really flood this area, but I know it's getting more water than I need. Anyway, I'm going to dig a ditch out to our back alley back in there and try to hook in that pipe to that so it'll drain at least out that way instead of down in our little gully here. Need to fix my paths up here too with some mulch, probably some weed fabric. All right, just gonna pour this in here. That's about right. If you can see that. It's a little over 8 ounces, just a little bit. Probably a good thing I'm on this side. That wind's blowing dust everywhere. Okay, I've got the fertilizer put in the second bed. I'm getting ready to till it in, and then we'll go on to the next one. Now you can side dress with this stuff too, but you know, you might want to use like a 10-10-10 instead of 12-12-12 to do that. You got to be careful, you'll burn your plants up. Okay. Let's get that worked into the soil. Yeah, there's a few things that can be planted right now. I think carrots, radishes. If you plant radishes too late, they get real chewy. At least that's my experience. Is they get real I don't know, they're just really chewy and they're not good. So you got to get your radishes in early. I mean, you can plant them in places where you're going to plant other things later in the summer. You have to do your research on that and see when you can plant certain things in your region. Everyone's different. What time of year they can plant. Well, I think we're going to go on to our fourth bed here. All right, here we go on the fourth bed. You get the weeds out of here. Yeah, they're hard to get out, those thistles. They root so deep. They get way down in there. They just break off. Yeah. Ugh. I mean, look at that root. And I didn't even get it all. Yeah. I'm going to be tilling up around the beds too and cleaning it up. And we'll probably put some landscape fabric down and some mulch around these beds just to dress it up and make it look good. I believe last year was the first year I had these in, because I originally had them over on the other side. And I had it all landscaped over there. It looked really nice. And it was useful. It didn't just look good. It served a good purpose. Incorporating a garden in town in your landscape. I mean, you can plant flowers. You can plant flowers around your garden. There's some really good flowers you can plant, like cosmos and marigolds. Marigolds, I guess, are supposed to help with pests. So I plant a lot of marigolds around. I don't know if it helps or not. They say it does. Now this bed here is not quite as soft as the other one. I expect what I did is I ran out of dirt or something, and I mixed up some other dirt for that third bed, and it's much softer. But this dirt here is rich, so it's nice and moist, that's for sure. That's the only bad thing about raised beds, is you got to keep them watered, and it's a little harder to keep them moist. It really doesn't matter whether it's level right now or not. I'm going to end up tilling it up again. So, all right, well, let's get our fertilizer out here. That's just about enough. Tell you what's good stuff, and it's called Black Cow. You can get it at Lowe's and places like that. It's just cow manure. It's a mix, cow manure and mulch, I think. But anyway, it's a good thing to use. Or if you live on a farm, you can just use your own cows. You know. Okay. Okay, that's where we're going to stop for today, and we've got all 4 of these tilled up and fertilized, and we're going to stop here, and we'll pick up on another day with the other garden beds, the raised beds. And but anyway, we got what we needed to get done, finished today. So I hope it rains now and gets and soaks that stuff down in, and then we'll see how it does. So we'll pick up next time.